Thanks to Corwin Motors for sponsoring the Keeping Score podcast. At Corwin Motors, they're proud to be family-driven for over 100 years. Their commitment goes beyond selling cars. They're dedicated to serving our community and providing you with the highest quality vehicles to fit your lifestyle. Whether you're searching for reliability, style, or comfort, they got you covered. They understand that you rely on their website for accurate and up-to-date information, and it's their promise to deliver relevant, detailed content that meets your needs. So if you're in the market for a new Chevrolet or just want to learn more, visit CorwinMotorsKalispell.com. Welcome, everybody, to the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. I am your host, Josh Amick. This week, we have another crosstown matchup, but this time it takes place in softball. Columbia Falls freeze out the competition at the Iceberg Invitational, and the AA Lakers winning streak reaches 4 games. So without further ado, let's get into this week's highlights that you might have missed. Starting off with everyone's favorite rivalry matchup, Thursday was another crosstown battle in softball between Flathead and Glacier. Kinsey Lake started the scoring in the first inning for the Bravettes, hitting a solo home run to take a 1-0 lead, but the Wolfpack immediately responded. They loaded the bases in their half of the inning, and Olivia Gibbons laced a pitch over the wall for the grand slam, retaking the lead 4-1, and the Wolfpack never looked back. Nakia Perringer added on a 2-run homer for the Pack to make it 6-1, but the star of the game and poster player of the week was Olivia Warriner, who not homered once, but twice on a day where both of her hits were home runs, and she finished the day with 4 RBIs. The Bravettes did not score after that first inning, and the final was 15-1. Flathead did pick up a 16-1 win over Bozeman on Saturday at the crossover event and lost a tough battle 12-10 to Great Falls. Flathead scored 6 runs in the 6th inning, capped by Reese Conley's 2-run home run, only to have Great Falls answer with 4 runs in its half of the 6th to take a 12-8 lead. Lacey Franklin added another 2-run homer in the 7th, but the Bravettes couldn't get any closer. In the nightcap game, Conley hit another home run, and Mackenzie Brandt hit 2 homers of her own, including a grand slam, as Flathead won easily, picking up their second win of the season. Also at the crossover event, Glacier won both of their games 4-3 against Billings West before exploding for 18 runs in their win over Gallatin. Freshman Ava Grady came in on relief for the Pack and struck out a whopping 13 batters against Billings West. Nakia provided the offense again with a double and 2 more RBIs. In their second game, the Pack scored 9 runs in the first and second innings and capitalized on Gallatin's errors to pick up their 8th win of the season to just their 2 losses. Elsewhere in softball, Addie Bowler drove in 4 runs on a pair of hits as Columbia Falls defeated Whitefish in Northwest A softball on Tuesday. Bowler drove in 2 runs on a single to center field as Columbia Falls scored 9 runs in the opening frame. She added on another 2-run single in the second to grow the Wildcats' lead to 13-0. Columbia Falls picked up another win as Kylie Glysdale Davis homered and Addie Bowler tripled during their 4-run 4th inning, and the Wildcats held off Libby for a 5-1 win in Northwest A softball on Thursday. Glysdale Davis' solo home run broke a 1-1 tie, and Bowler's 2-out triple put the Cats up 4-1. Bowler then scored Columbia Falls' final run as part of a double steal with Taylor Lingle. Moving over to the boys' side of the diamond was a matchup between Big Fork and Troy at the Vikings' new Flathead Beacon Field on Thursday. Holland Jansen drove in Ryder Hamilton on a grounder to shortstop to secure the 13-3 run rule victory in 6 innings for the Vikings. Hamilton hit an RBI triple just before Jansen called game, and Grady Campbell also tripled for the Vikings as 8 different Big Fork batters picked up a hit for their 5th win of the season. Also on Thursday, Columbia Falls lost their first game of the year 8-2 to Hamilton. The Wildcats found their only other run in the 3rd inning on a double from Nico Young that scored Trayson Murphy. On Saturday, Columbia Falls watched its early 7-3 lead dwindle over the final 2 innings before responding with 2 runs to beat the Dillon Beavers. In the bottom of the 6th, Cooper Ross reached on an error, and the next batter, Nico Young, laced a double to tie the game at 8 apiece. Reggie Sapa singled home Young on the next at-bat to retake the lead 9-8. Young recorded the final 3 outs on the hill as the Wildcats improved to 6-1 on the season. Heading to a stalemate in the bottom of the 6th inning, Whitefish's Tate Ormery hit a walk-off single, scoring Calvin Eisenbarth for a 9-8 Bulldogs win over Stevensville at the Paddleheads Baseball Showcase on Saturday. Orme finished with 2 hits, including a double, and scored once, and Eisenbarth doubled ahead of Orme's game winner for the win. Carter Gotze went 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs, and Christian Schwarber added 2 runs as the Bulldogs' 4, 5, and 6 hitters combined to go 6 of 9, and Whitefish remains perfect on the season at 7-0. For Legion Baseball, the AA Lakers beat the Calgary Cardinals in 3 straight games before picking up another win over the Cranbrook Bandits on Friday and Saturday's doubleheaders at Griffin Field. Jackson Heino took the mound for the opener, allowing just 2 hits and striking out 4 through 5 innings. Battery mate Andre Seifers sparked the offense with a base hit and 4 RBIs in their first win 9-1 over Calgary. In Game 2, Kalispell responded with 10 runs in the bottom half of the inning after being down 1 in the first, highlighted by back-to-back doubles from Hunter Fan and Oscar Callis that drove in a run each. Calgary committed 3 errors in the frame, leading to 4 unearned runs as the Lakers cruised to a 19-1 victory. In their third game against Calgary, the game was called after 5 innings, with the Lakers scoring 14 runs in the second inning of a 16-0 win. The Lakers had 17 players reach base in that inning, highlighted by doubles from Jackson Heino and Luke Nikkinen. In Game 2, the Lakers scored in every inning with Cole Brink reaching base in all 4 at-bats on his way to 3 runs in the day. He drove in 2 while collecting 3 free passes and a triple on their way to a 12-5 victory and improved to 5-3 on the season. Moving on to track, Jack Phelps swept the boys 200 and 400 sprints and helped the host Columbia Falls boys win the Iceberg Invitational track and field meet. It was a narrow victory. The Wildcats scored 122 points to 120 for Frenchtown and 75 for Ronan. That 2-point margin could have come from several directions, including Lucas Peterson's win in the 3,200 meters or Lane Vorman's win in the discus, where he threw an all-class best 172 feet, 2 inches. Aubrey Smith and Cora Hannon supplied wins in the hurdles to help the Wildcats keep pace. Sully Bolmer hit a PR of 11-1 to win the pole vault, and Taryn Borgen won the high jump as well for the girls. Olivia Kress and Isaac Soyland went 1-2 in the pole vault for the Wildcats. Simon Douglas won the 800 for the Whitefish, and teammate Carson Golick won the 110 hurdles for the Bulldogs. Elsewhere in track, Glacier tied with Helena Capital for the top spot, each scoring 58 points in the all-boys event. Flathead was 5th with 52 points, all of this at the Dahlberg Invitational. Glacier made a statement with Owen Thiel winning the 1600, Ethan Anderson running a season best in the 300 hurdles, and Dylan Smith finishing 2nd in both the discus and the shot put. Sweeping the 100 and 200 was Flathead's Ben Blevin, while teammate Kaysen Kastner finished 2nd in the 1800. On the girls' side, Flathead's Alivia Rinehart set 2 personal records at the annual all-girls Great Falls Optimist Club Meet, which drew all 16 Class AA programs. Her time in the 200 was 25.24 seconds. She also won the 110-meter hurdles in 14.61, the best mark in AA. The Bravettes also had wins from Josie Wilson and Alice Dolezal. Riley Bigelow led Glacier's effort, hitting a PR in the discus with a mark of 122.11 and taking 4th in the shot put. In tennis, Liesl Brust earned a straight sets win for Whitefish as the Bulldogs swept Flathead on Thursday. On the boys' side, Owen Erickson needed 3 sets, but he downed Rowan Alexander in a matchup between the number 1 singles. Holden Asfig, Easius Bailey, and Michael Palmer picked up wins for Flathead. The Bulldogs' doubles pairings swept the Braves to take the dual event 5-3. Jax Ramage earned a straight sets win and led a Wildcat sweep the Big Fork boys on Thursday in tennis as well. Later, Ryan Beagle led a single sweep for Libby over Big Fork. On the girls' side, Cassie Schlitt and Amanda Leonard earned singles wins for the Valkyries as the team split matches 3-3. The Big Fork girls also earned a split with Libby, going 3-3 as well. Carl Bittney and Sam Engelent led the Glacier boys doubles pairings to a 4-0 sweep of Whitefish on Thursday as the Wolfpack bested the Bulldogs 6-2 overall. Gavin Rodriguez and Weston Heller picked up singles wins for the Wolfpack as well. The Bulldogs got wins from Owen Erickson at the number 1 single spot and Jack Flint at the number 3. Lindsay Lelmer won a 3rd set tiebreaker that secured a 4-4 draw for the Glacier girls, joining Liani Linares and Autumn Bashara as singles winners for the pack. Ali Shores grabbed the lone singles win for Whitefish for the girls. That is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Keeping Score podcast presented by Corwin Motors. As always, full track meet results can be found at athletic.net, and full tennis and game recaps can be found at the Daily Interlake under the Sports tab. Thank you to my sponsor and all the listeners for tuning in this week. We'll see you all next week on another episode of the Keeping Score podcast. Take care.
A fire that broke out on a cold and dark February morning in 2024 sent the small northwest Montana town of Knoxon reeling. Beginning in the Angry Beaver General Store on Knoxon Avenue, the conflagration would eventually claim a neighboring restaurant and a storied bar. The town had lost 3/4 of its business community by the day's end. 7 months after the fire, people were still wondering, will Knoxon recover? Can it mount a comeback? What will rise from the ashes?
Stream Season 3 of the Daily Interlakes Deep Dive podcast on your favorite audio platform, or catch the 2-part series on our YouTube channel.